Okay, here's the warm-up for January 14th. Graph the linear function below. Y equals 1/4 x plus 2. So here is our m, 1/4. So it's the rise over your run. And my y-intercept is going to be 2. And we're going to use the formula y equals mx plus b. So we're going to start at the 2 on the y-axis. And then we're going to use the slope. So here what we're going to do, rise up 1. So you're going to go up 1 and over 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're going to put a dot right there. Now you want to get another point. You're going to go back to the y-intercept. You go down 1 and over 4 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're going to use a ruler. Okay, so that is done. Now let's go to number 2. It says, is the relation below a function? So in order for a relation to be a function, x cannot be repeated. So here what we're going to do is, since it's a picture, we are going to use our vertical line test. So I'm just going to draw some vertical lines through our relations. All right. And I'm going to mark, so here you have a point there. And you doesn't point there, point here, and a point here. So here the x does not repeat. So is this a function? Yes, because it passes the vertical line test. Okay, today's lesson is going to be on representing functions. It's in your MIF book on chapter 6.2. Question number 1. Stephanie can type 75 words per minute on a computer keyboard. The number of words she can type, n, is a function of the amount of time, t minutes, she spends at the computer keyboard. So what do they want you to do? So basically, they want you to write an equation to represent the functions. So this is kind of like what we did when we were solving word problems with equations. So you would need a let statement, but in this case, you don't need a let statement because you already have your x and your y. But in this case, they gave you the letters n and t. So now you have to determine what is going to be n, the x, or the y, all right, and then the t. So when you look at this and you think in terms, if you have t minutes, so if you were to graph, usually when you're graphing, it's always going to be in the first quadrant. This is your y, this is your x. So time will always be on the horizontal right here for the x. So that's how you can tell. So here my x is going to be time. Okay, so now that you established that x is going to be your time, then the n, and they told you already what it's going to be representing. So that is your let statement. So n is a function of is the number of words she can type. All right, so that is your let. So the let statement is already given in the word problem. So this one is going to be your n. Okay, so here the x values from 1 to 3. So we're going to make this as 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to fill this in 1 second. So now what we want to do is we want to come up with an equation, which is your function. So here, how would you figure it out? Well, it says she types 75 words per minute, so that would be 75x, but we're going to replace that now with the letter t. And the y, right, is going to be your output, but in this case, that's going to tell you the number of words she can type, and in this case, we're going to use the letter n instead of y. So this would be, all right, just to make it a little bit easier, this is the same thing as this, y equals 75x, all right? But this is what they want, so that is your function, okay? the equation of your function. So in words, what does this mean? All right, so basically this just means that the number of words typed equals the product, right? So 75 times t, so we can say the product of 75, and t now represents the number of minutes. All right, so I'm just restating what the problem was. So then now how do I get the chart right here? So basically all I'm doing, so I'm going to put it right here, I'm going to replace the t, right? So if 75 times, if I throw in the 1 in here, so 75 times 1 is just 75. And now let's say it's replaced with the 2. 75 times 2 is going to be 150. And then now we're going to replace it with the 3. 75 times 3 is 225. So these are the number of words that she can type. So she can type in 225 words in 3 minutes. All right, let's look at number 2. When Sarah goes on vacation, she boards her dog at a kennel. The kennel charges a flat fee of $50. So I'm going to circle that, flat fee of $50, and a daily rate of $10. The total amount Sarah pays for her dog to stay at the kennel is Y. Right? So here, this is your dollars. So my total, it says right here, amount, is being used to represent Y equals, and is a function of a number of days that she boards her dog. So here, you are paying a flat fee. So that is basically your initial fee. So you're paying $50, right? So the flat fee, I'm just going to write here, flat fee, plus the daily rate. And times the number, right? Number of days. So let's write that out so you can see it. So we're going to add, and then we have $10 per day. And what is represented by days is X. So this is my function rule. Okay, so I just wrote that out. So basically what they want you to do is they want you to write this to represent the function. So all you need to do is just write kind of like what I did up top instead of like number 1, but if you wanted to, you could. We can always say that, so we can say the total amount is equal to, so I'm just translating the equation, is equal to the flat fee plus the product of 10, okay, and the number of days. So let's look at our chart. We're going to use 1, 2, 3. So here on the first day, right, how much would she pay? So we would use this equation, right, and all we're doing is substituting the x in here. So let's just do it down here so you guys can see it. All right, so I'm going to have let's do y equals 50 plus 10 times 1. And the other one, we're going to do the same thing. And y equals 50 plus 10 times 3. So here we have 50 plus 10 times 1. 10 times 1 is 10. 10 plus 50 is 60. And then we have 10 times 2 is 20. 20 plus 50 is 70. And 10 times 3 is 30. 30 plus 50 is 80. So each day you're going to add 10. Okay, so there you go. Okay, number 3. Ryan has a prepaid movie card with a value of $45. So that is your total. every time he watches a movie, $7.50 is deducted from the value of his card. The amount of money remaining on his card, Y dollars, is a function of the number of movies he watches, X. So the number of movies he watches is represented by X. So here I gave you a graph grid already with everything that is labeled, and you have a table. So the first thing you want to do is write the equation to represent the function. So here we know that we have Y equals, and it says that he starts off with $45. So I'm going to write 45. And every time he watches the movie, right, it is deducted. So the word deducted means to subtract. So it's subtracting $7.50 per movie. So if he watches one, it will be minus $7.50. But if he watches two, that will be $7.50 times 2. But in order to write the function, the number of movies is going to be X. So that is your function. And here we are doing part B, construct using the equation. And you're going to go from 0 through 6. So we already have the table lined up for the X. And then now we're going to find the Y. Okay, so here we're going to just substitute. So here we're going to take a calculator in, and we're going to type that into the calculator. All right. So once I do that, I get 45. And then the next one is 37.50, 30. And it keeps going down. 22.50, 15, and 7.50. And 0. So now with the graph, here it says use one grid square for the horizontal to represent the number of movies. So here's 1, 2, right, because these are your 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we want $5 to represent, so we're going by 5s. So this is 5, right, and 10. So what I'm going to do, it's looking a little messy, so I'm going to just erase this, and I'm just going to start. Okay, let's go back there. So for every one, it is 5. So I'm just going to go here, and this is going to be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. All right, and let's graph. So the first one is 0, 45. So this is 0, 45. I'm going to graph 2, 30, and again, I'm just going to do the easier ones first. I'm going to do these first. All right, so 6, 0, and 4 is 15. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to connect these points. All right, so I connected the points, and then again, you can just go into where 1, and you'll see that it's 37.5. So I don't really have to plot those points. All right, so then that's it. You're done. Just to let you guys know, so anytime you have the dollars, if they're giving you, and if I don't label your graphs for you, the money will always be your Y, okay? And like the time will always be the X value.